GuMiho, the Gumi god himself, he recently joined a new team. It was all over social media. It was a couple of days ago, but GuMiho is finally on a team. He is no longer teamless. And here he is spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn. He doesn't have an in-game team yet, but I promise you, he is currently salaried by a pretty hefty org. Representing Cloud9, it is GuMiho. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Terran player. We have the reigning world champion. Representing CranKy Gaming, it is Oliveira. Here we go. Again, GuMiho currently repping that new team, Cloud9. Shout out to Cloud9. You know, clearly they have some management that does love and is fond of StarCraft. And GuMiho, he is the ESL Masters Summer runner-up. I do think that he is a very good pickup here for any team, especially if they're looking to eventually compete in WTL next season. GuMiho is going to be a valuable member of said team, and here we go across the map. We do have a proxy racks already on the way. We've seen this before. GuMiho, I think he's going for proxy marauder. We have seen a lot of players on Oceanborn go for a proxy racks and float into the main base just because there's so much room here, and go for proxy marauder within the main base of the opposing Terran player. I think we've seen this against Protoss as well. So I'm curious if this is just going to be proxy reaper, or if we just go all the way and float into the main. Meanwhile, Oliveira is going for a Rax Expand, a very economic opener. GuMiho, of course, going double gas. And there he is! He's floating in. He is going to be floating in, and again, this is something that we have seen quite commonly on Oceanborn. I say quite commonly against, again, Terrans and against Protoss players. We should be seeing, yep, the Tech Lab on the way, and the Proxy Marauder in the main. And Oliveira has no idea. He has no idea what is going on. He doesn't quite check his main base. We have an SCV to throw down a depot here just to cover this area, just to cover the Reaper Cliff, and a Concussive Shell is in production. It is in production. Aye. See the chat, why you not stream Scarlet versus Shin? I did just mention, so if you missed it in the chat, then I do apologize, but I did mention that we were waiting for Scarlet to show up, but she didn't. That's why there was a forfeit. That's why that series is already concluded. Priority to C players. I mean, we were waiting for Scarlet. She didn't show. There was a forfeit for Scarlet. Aye. Again, I mentioned that before, and that's why that has been updated on the brackets. But yeah, here we go. We are just going to be banking up Marauders here in the main base. And so far, Oliveira, he has no idea. He does have a bunker here on the low ground. He did scout across the map. He did recognize that, of course, something was missing. The Marauders do reveal themselves, and we are wreaking havoc in the middle line. Boys are being pulled, and so far, we haven't been able to kill too much. Good target firing on the Marines. Oh! Good at target firing here from GuMiho. He takes down a Marine. He takes down the second Marine as well, but these Marauders are going down. As well as 3 SCVs. We will clean this up. 4 SCVs fall. And was this worth it in the end? I mean, GuMiho, he is taking an economic lead. He is looking to be ahead here in the workers for now. But Oliveira does have a faster CC. GuMiho just starts his. Clean this up. We force back the proxy, and again, was this worth it in the end? We're going to have to wait a little bit longer to actually determine that, just because Oliveira can make 2 SCVs at a time, and he's going to be able to mule quite heavily as well. We do move that across the map with a Cyclone, but we have a defensive Cyclone in position as well from Oliveira. He does have the units he needs to shut this down. As I say that, do have a second Cyclone rocking up. We have high ground vision. Up! Can he target down that Cyclone of his opponent? So far, it doesn't quite go for it. Going to be applying a lot of pressure here to the CC. Is going to get a couple of SCVs as well. Not too bad. Behind this, GuMiho double expanding. Oh my god. Good lockout here on the Reaper. And oh, GuMiho will be losing one of his Cyclones, but he will be losing, oh my god, both Cyclones, even as we trade evenly with each other. And GuMiho is getting his third CC on location. I like this. So, after all said and done, GuMiho, he is still ahead by 2 SCVs, by 2 workers, which may not sound like a lot, but he's ahead by 2. He's still working on his orbital, so this is a pretty even economy. I would maybe even say that Oliveira still has a better economy, but with this third CC, things do change, as GuMiho is being very greedy behind this. On top of that, second factory. We do have a second factory on the way here alongside the first. GuMiho is committed here to Cyclone production. That is a reactor on the way in the starport. I think he's going to go for an add-on swap and go for 4 Cyclones at a time. As he pushes out, we do have Oliveira coming in with his own drop. Does dive on that third CC, does delay it as well. So far, the juggling is looking good, but this DPS here from GuMiho may just be too much. Ooh, as he barely does save that Cyclone. The control! Up! Oh my god! Oliveira, 1-2, he takes down both Cyclones. Really good juggling out of our red Terran player. He does deny the third base, but we do have more Cyclones on the way, and Oliveira will keep his third alive. SCV comes in, and we're going to be able to top up this CC, going to get it up and running. And now Oliveira knows that even though Oliveira has recovered economically because of the mules, because of the faster base, even though Oliveira currently has an economic lead, a slight lead, he's going to be behind momentarily here, as GuMiho is going to be able to get this third on location and make 3 SCVs at a time. Oliveira trying to catch up with his own third base timing, which is going to be scanned. It is going to be scanned. Oliveira, meanwhile, he hasn't quite checked the main. That is a third factory now on the way. So we are just going mech. We're going pure mech here from GuMiho. We're moving out with these Cyclones, looking for map control. And things are still popping off. As GuMiho is moving out, he is aware as well that his opponent has been losing quite a lot of units. We'll see if we can take advantage of that. There is 1 tank here on the low ground. Couple of Marines. We do have Ravens on the high ground as well. Interference Matrix has been researched. It's going to be quite valuable, especially when it comes to breaking these entrenched positions. And we're going for a drop into the main. Ravens do spot this though. No! They spot this, but 1 Raven's going to go down. A massive pickoff here for GuMiho, especially considering we invested in those upgrades. And he's going for the other. No, Oliveira, too greedy. Why are we out here? The second Raven is barely up. Gonna survive. Greedy move to commit, moving out regardless, and losing a Raven, almost losing 2. This is brutal. This is a rough moment here for Oliveira, but he does get away. He gets away with a double drop. At the same time, GuMiho going for his own double drop into the main base. Oliveira, he's still in no man's land. He's still a ways away from the bases of GuMiho. We're camping the production. We're trying to at least. SCVs are going down. Third base is under threat. Chaos is ensuing in the bases of Oliveira. At the same time, he goes for his own doom drop into the main. But there are Vikings in position. Boys are being pulled. The Raven, I believe, did end up going down. A lot of SCVs are falling. Oh my god. Oh my. A lot of SCVs are going to be going down. 20 SCVs going down here for GuMiho. And meanwhile, with these reinforcements, the Raven, can we escape? Oh no. We're still barely alive for now. As Oliveira is being cleaned up, and with those 22 SCVs going down, Oliveira does tie up the worker count. That's crazy, by the way. It's crazy to think that GuMiho had 22 workers to spare, because now we're even. That goes to show the power of the third CC, Papi. The power of the third base, just how ahead GuMiho was when it comes to the worker counts. Oliveira still struggling to. Oh my god, that was a kill! That was a kill in the CC! Oh my god, that was a kill in the third base of Oliveira, and Oliveira, he is still miles behind, economically at least, stuck on 2 bases. And here we go, we're committing to the push. Now, he still has that 1 Raven alive, thankfully. He has disables available. We're pushing on in, and he's going to be pushing into 5 tanks. Yeah, the Vikings are here for air control, looking to zone away that Raven, but here we go, the disables are still being thrown down. 1 disable on that tank. Oliveira still trying to gain ground. Vikings and Cyclones, so they do force back those Vikings. And only 1 left now, soon to be 0 left here for Oliveira. As all GuMiho has to do is survive. He just has to defend, survive. He's already done so much. He's already denied the third base. He's still ahead in workers because of his own third. There's nothing pressuring GuMiho to push out as he snipes the last Raven. Last Raven does go down. Again, GuMiho just taking advantage of the chaos ensuing, just able to pick off whatever he can. Cyclone is still alive. I don't imagine he's going to find anything else, but I mean, hey, it's GuMiho. It's possible. The tanks are sieging. No, Oliveira, he's late to siege, and these tanks are going to be going down. The entire army falls. GG gets called, and GuMiho takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. A solid game there out of GuMiho. I mean, I say so, it was wild. I would say that the proxy Marauder was a little bit lackluster. Killed, what, 4 SCVs? It did do some damage, that is true. But more than anything, because of the proxy racks, he was able to get away with that fast third CC. And I say that Oliveira was applying a lot of pressure and things were getting very intense for GuMiho, but he ended up defending, getting into mech behind it, able to trade more efficiently. And yeah, GuMiho, his macro was insane. It's absolutely insane. And now GuMiho is going to be up in this best of 3. And we'll see if he can keep it up and take the series, or if Oliveira can force the ace match. Here we go. Again, Oliveira, he had good moves of his own. Like, again, very impressive juggling early on, if you remember, with this Cyclone versus Cyclone battle to be able to delay the third base. And Oliveira's drop into the natural was successful. Remember, like, when he dove into the natural, when he killed 22 SCVs, that was not a bad moment at all for Oliveira. It just goes to show how far ahead GuMiho was from that point, or leading up to that point. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Terran player representing his new team Cloud9. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the reigning world champion. We have the red Terran player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Oliveira. Go. We'll see how things do settle from here. As for now, we do have some pretty standard openers. This time, GuMiho is not sending an SCV across the map. We mentioned before that the proxy Marauder in the main base of Oliveira is very unique to Oceanborn. I don't think I've seen another map that you can get away with that on, just because of the amount of space you have in your main. It isn't just about the space, it's also the space that's away from the Reaper Cliff as well, because it is quite common to actually scout and check the Reaper Cliff with the depot. So again, Oceanborn is a unique map in that way. So GuMiho is going to have to kind of try out something a little bit different here, but it's GuMiho we're talking about. He has plenty of builds up his sleeve. He's a very, as a player, he has a lot of variety available. He played mech last game. That doesn't mean he's going to play mech every game. He's a very flexible player in that respect. So now, double gas opener out of Oliveira. He's been humbled a little bit, and he's going for a very safe build. GuMiho going for a Rax expand. I love how we're playing out this series. Because GuMiho went for a very aggressive opener, Oliveira is going to be playing safe and sound with double gas. Going to be going for a faster factory, a delayed expansion. Meanwhile, GuMiho, he's enjoying himself here after having a lead in the series, going for something more economic, taking advantage of even the mental state of Oliveira. You can see here Oliveira, he scouts, he checks for a proxy, he's terrified. He doesn't want to get cheesed out. Not out of this tournament. As now we get our CC on the low ground. So far a pretty good start here for GuMiho. Now obviously with the double gas opener, this also means that Oliveira can be aggressive first. He will have an abundance of Reapers and Hellions with a faster factory, so Oliveira, he can soon be aggressive and be assertive, and we'll see what he can get done. As we're having a little bit of a role reversal here as, oh my god. GuMiho going for a very fast second Rax, hidden here behind the mineral line. And this is going to get interesting. So I'm curious if GuMiho is going to go for a 2-1-1. 2-1-1s, they are not unheard of in TvT. They are definitely unorthodox, but not unheard of. We don't have an add-on on the way on the factory, and we're too far away to add-on swap. So we're actually going to be working on a really hefty bio count really early on. We're going to be building up Marines and getting into... No, yeah, it's a 2-1-1. Okay. Interesting. I'm really curious how this is going to play out. So with the tech lab on this Rax, we're getting to fast stim. So usually you get the tech lab on the factory and you go for an add-on swap to get into a little bit faster stim, but instead we're going for the add-on swap factory and starport here instead for the reactor. Now, I believe because of how this build has come together, we're gonna get medevacs out first unless we don't add-on swap. I'm really curious as... Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping my eye on this. There we go. Okay, we're going for an add-on swap. if these medevacs, they're going to hit first before Stim. Stim is a little bit too late with this, so that's why I'm really curious how GuMiho is going to actually be aggressive with this. As here we go, we have a drop into the natural base. SCVs are going to be going down. 2 SCVs will fall, but we have plenty of units here to defend. As up, the depot will survive. So again, we're going to be hitting with 2 medevacs first, and then we're going to be hitting a later timing with Stim. That's why this is, again, a really interesting variation of 2-on-1 that I'm really intrigued by. And again, I'm curious how it's all going to come together. Meanwhile, Oliveira, again, with the more aggressive opener, he was able to get a couple of SCV kills. He's moving out with another drop here on the right-hand side. It's going to be spotted. Oh, and we just dive straight on top of the Cyclone. Cyclone is going to go down. Big pick up here from Oliveira. Marines, they do push on forward. Stim is not quite done, but we do focus on the Cyclone. We can back the hell off. Tank getting within range. Stim is still on the way. As we jump into the main base. Tank can help support within range of the depot even. But Stim is a couple of seconds away from finishing up Oliveira. He's getting a 3rd CC behind this. Very fast 3rd out of Oliveira. Now, what's scary is that once Oliveira gets cleaned up, and eventually he will, this is going to be a very powerful double drop. And GuMiho, he's just going for it. He doesn't even care. He's not too interested in this push, and this is terrifying because Oliveira has very little to defend back at home. We have a Liberator coming into the natural, double drop into the main base. Likewise, GuMiho doesn't have too much either, but the Viking is within range and will not stop the drop. Oliveira, he does go for the Doom drop into the main base. Likewise, so is GuMiho. Now, there is one tank. There is one tank in position, but GuMiho, he can deal with that. And everything is on fire. Oh my god. Everything is on fire. S7 SCVs go down. Liberator going to be denying mining here at the natural. And GuMiho actually dropping in the natural base instead of the main. Really good positioning here. A lot of SCVs are going to be going down, but the tank is within range as well. Tank of GuMiho does go down. Meanwhile, Oliveira isn't really gaining too much ground either. He can't push into the mineral line. Oh, and these Stim Marines, they're going to get so many SCVs. We are trading blow for blow. Oliveira slowly encroaching the production here, camping the Raxes even. Yeah, the production is under fire. Oliveira with a much better position. And GuMiho, how can he deal with this? He can't. He just cannot deal with this. Starport does fall. Jumping back in across the map. Getting some more SCVs. Tank getting within range, but no, the tank goes down. Oliveira, he was paying attention. Boys are being pulled. Viking is landing. We will clean this up, but Oliveira finds himself with a beautiful lead from here. Oliveira, he has a 3rd CC. He has better mining, more SCVs. We'll eventually clean this up, and maybe I spoke too soon. A couple more workers are going down. Couple more workers. As GuMiho does get the hell out of there. Whew. And again, as the dust does settle, Oliveira is in a much better position. He can soon take his 3rd base, and GuMiho, the pressure is on him to get damage done. He is all in at this point. It's all or nothing for GuMiho. Can he make some magic happen? He's down in tanks. He has a Viking, has a medevac, has potential for damage. But Oliveira's in position. We have a solid tank line. Marines, no bunker, but GuMiho is just gonna... Yeah, he just has to force his way in. And in a couple of seconds, Oliveira will be even in upgrades. Stim is 10 seconds away. GuMiho getting his 3rd CC on location. Oh my god. Okay. GuMiho, he's going to try to macro out of this. It's going to be an uphill battle. Uphill battle here for GuMiho, but it is a hill that he is willing to push up into. Solid disable. Raven will go down, but GuMiho will be losing a tank. And a medevac. Ay. Oliveira just solidifying his position. Sensor tower on the way this early on to make sure that there's no drop into the main. I appreciate it. Additional Rax is on the way. Now, when it comes to TvT, even if you're down in supply, you can win a fight. At the end of the day, because we're so heavily reliant on tanks here, positional play is king. Positional play does trump supply overall. That is true, but at the same time, Oliveira, like, he's taking this slow and steady. He's still focusing on tank production. He's slowly expanding, taking his third base. Oliveira isn't taking any big risks, and as long as we're able to get eyes and keep eyes on GuMiho's main army, like, we can push and we can snowball out of control. Spotter Marine does see the army moving out. GuMiho's getting in position. GuMiho, he has to read whether or not this army pushes towards the natural or towards the third base. There we go, the tanks are sieging. Scan does reveal the army. Oliveira going to be rotating over towards the left-hand side. GuMiho does spot this. It's going to be able to reposition. So far, so good. Oh, and Oliveira, he bypasses the army. He goes straight for the natural instead. The tanks are within range of the gas geyser. Maybe this tank as well. Yeah, they're within range. GG gets called. It's just too much, and Oliveira will tie up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. All the way, Bobby. All the way. Getting into game number 3, and this could go either direction. Again, we have seen our players open up very differently so far, and we have seen them open up very differently. A lot of it, of course, very dependent on the maps as well. And we have game number 3. It's going to be on hard lead. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, do we have any other updates? It looks like we have a couple of updates coming in, and we can go over said updates once we do wrap up the series. I mentioned before that our goal here is most likely to cover the upper half of the brackets, while we have other English casters covering the lower half of the bracket instead. If you are curious. Again, we're just trying to stay split up. Trying to cover as much of this tournament as we can, and here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of hard lead, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, representing his new team, Cloud9. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Terran player, the red Terran, representing Dragon KZ Gaming. It is Oliveira. Go. Oh. Hello there. Did you see that? GuMiho, he did set a rally path, and he is going for a proxy ranks over here on the right hand side of the map. GuMiho is looking to spice things up, and again, remember, last game GuMiho went for an economic opener. He went for a Rax expand. Here in game 3, we have a proxy setup. Meanwhile, Oliveira going for a safe opener here. Looking good for Oliveira. He's going to be going for a double gas, which means a faster factory, a delayed CC, which is exactly what he wants against a build like this, against a 2 Rax. It's going to be 1 Rax across the map and 1 Rax back at home. So not the most committed proxy here from GuMiho, but aggressive nonetheless. Reapers are going to be on the way. And again, if Oliveira had gone for a more economic opener, then GuMiho would be able to punish that. Alas, that is not quite the case, so there's going to be more of a back and forth here, and we'll see if Oliveira can minimize his losses, as GuMiho is looking to pick off whatever SCVs he can. As the reproduction has commenced, Oliveira just going to be rolling up, and isn't quite aware of what is going on yet. No SCV scout or no Reaper scout yet. The first Reaper is still in production. GuMiho, he checks. He does confirm that the CC is not on the low ground. It could still be an economic opener with a CC on the high ground. That is possible. That is possible. GuMiho trying to piece this together. First Reaper checking the proxy location. This is the much more standard proxy location here. So Oliveira playing this out very safely. There it is, GuMiho. He does arrive. He's looking to delay the CC, and he will. Oh! He should be able to get a kill on the SCV. He does get it. Does lay the expansion. He shouldn't have enough DPS to force a cancel. We do have a second Reaper coming out and a Hellion soon thereafter. No, he does force a cancel. Pretty good start for GuMiho. Very nicely done. Forcing a cancel on this expansion. We do have a Hellion and a Reaper. We could have tried to vie for control of the low ground, but Oliveira just respecting this quite a lot. Is going to be maintaining control of the high ground instead. GuMiho expanding on location. And with 2 Hellions, Oliveira, he should be able to deal with this. So far, good KDA charges, but GuMiho is being forced back. And the question becomes, good control of Oliveira. He does pull back those weakened Reapers. The question becomes, can GuMiho defend back at home? We have Marines on the way. Bunker is done. Nothing to fill it up yet. And Oliveira, he's racing across the map. He needs to get damage done. Again, a massive delay on his own expansion. He needs to, again, force delayed mining here at the natural of his opponent. Here we go. Reapers are getting to the main base. Marine goes down. GG gets called. It's just too much. And Oliveira will take the series 2-1, taking down GuMiho. Oh, GG. I was like, Oliveira, he needs to get across there. He needs to deny mining. He does one better. He just goes into the main. You know, there was nothing at home to defend. There were 2 Marines just coming out. Nothing else because of the proxy. GG, well played. Oliveira will take it in the end. Again, GuMiho, he was gambling that Oliveira would have gone for something more economic instead. But because of the double gas opener, because of the faster factory, Oliveira, he was able to shut it down. I was concerned that he overreacted by cancelling the natural and that would put him too far behind. But a very conservative approach, and Oliveira, he does take it in the end. He knew that all he had to do was shut down the Reapers, go for a counterattack, and get out of control from there. So very well done by Oliveira. My condolences to GuMiho. A solid series. I loved every game out of this, even game 3. It was beautiful. A solid series nonetheless. But in the end, Oliveira, he does assert himself, does take it, and he does advance on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. And we have some catching up to do. !B in the chat if you guys wish to have a look at the back of yourselves. We have a lot going on and a lot to go over.